Hello, everybody. It is nice to be here with you all. I'm going to be making a video. Hopefully, it's not too long. Let me do a time check because you know how I am sometimes. Okay. I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes, but we'll see. I'm going to talk about the new moon in Capricorn and just point out some of the things going on here during this new moon. Please do not mind my hair. It is crazy. Yes, I know. Okay, new moon in Capricorn. The new moon is happening in Capricorn at 20 degrees, sun and moon at 20 degrees, 44 minutes. You can see this right here, the sun and moon in Capricorn at 22 degrees. There is quite a few planets in Capricorn during this new moon. We have Mars in Capricorn at 5 degrees, 8 minutes, and we have Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees, 41 minutes. Pluto has been at this 29-degree point in Capricorn for several weeks now. And, and in 10 days from today, on January 20th, Pluto will leave this 29-degree point of Capricorn and enter Aquarius at 0 degrees. Pluto entered Capricorn back in 2008. I have been saying this over and over and over in almost every post and every video I've been making over the last few years about Pluto in Capricorn, because it is a very significant transit that we have been going through, especially as Pluto has been going through these later degrees in Capricorn. And another reminder as to why that's significant is because America became an independent nation, an independent country on July 4th, 1777, when the Constitution was signed. And so when that event occurred, Pluto was in Capricorn at 27 degrees. So Pluto takes about 250 years to do one full rotation in the zodiac. And so it has taken, 250 years or so for Pluto to return to these late degrees in Capricorn. This is very significant, being that America is one of the top superpowers of the world. And America has been a first world governing nation for going on 250 years now. So this Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees is very significant and very powerful. And there's a reason why Pluto is having to stay at this 29-degree point for a significant amount of time, because it is wrapping things up. We're coming to a massive culmination point of all the work that we have been doing collectively and personally in our lives since Pluto first entered Capricorn back in 2008. So I just want to keep on emphasizing that we have all been in a long, gruesome 15-year process dealing with the with this Pluto and Capricorn transit. And this is going to be the last new moon in Capricorn in our entire lifetime, with the presence of Pluto being in Capricorn as well. So for the last 15 years, every Capricorn new moon, Pluto has been in Capricorn as well. So this is very, very huge and significant. And it is amazing that we are alive at this time during so many profound shifts and revolutions and evolution within humanity and our consciousness. So this sun moon conjunction, this new moon at 20 degrees Capricorn. So Capricorn is a very powerful sign. It is an earth cardinal sign. Capricorn comes from the 10th house, and the 10th house is of achievements, success, legacy, but it's also foundations and security. Within Capricorn is where we develop structures, rules, limitations, and systems that guarantee through a assured success and reaching the top of your goals through hard work and dedication. So Capricorn is not wishful thinking or imagination or coming across a struck of good luck and fortune, like winning the lottery or something like that. Capricorn is very down to earth, very grounded, leans more on the pessimistic side, and has a serious and sober attitude in viewing itself and the world. So Capricorn is very industrious. Within Capricorn is also where we have authority, governing authorities. So military, banking systems, health organizations, the police, is anything that has authority over you. And so in our modern world, democracy, we have we give authority to a lot of powers. So like the CDC, the World Health Organization, the public school systems, the power companies, the FDA, all of these organizations are systems, and they are systems that play a part of a big structure that keeps the cogs moving in this massive global machine that we have here. So Capricorn is all about mastering your energy, being a master of yourself and your reality through applying hard work and discipline and achieving that. So Capricorn is I have a lot of respect for Capricorn energy. I, being a Gemini sun and moon with a Pallas Athena in Gemini conjunct my sun exactly to the degree and minute, Capricorn energy has been an awkward position to connect with me, because I am, as a Gemini dominant person, my energy is I irritate Capricorn energy is basically what I'm saying, because I can be a little bit more loose and elusive in my speaking, in my attitudes, and in my approach to things. And that's something Capricorn doesn't want to see. Capricorn is militant. Capricorn wants to see, nothing but excellence. Now, this isn't talking so much about Capricorn people. We all have the whole zodiac within our chart. I actually have a Capricorn stellium with Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn in Capricorn. So this is just, anyways, moving on. I'm nonsense here. So this Capricorn new moon is a very powerful new moon to set some serious intentions around goals that you want to achieve in your life and for your future. Capricorn sits at the very top of the zodiac, so it wants to be able to see the whole picture. That's also Sagittarius is seeing the bigger picture, but Capricorn comes after Sagittarius, which is, now that I've seen this bigger picture, how do I want to apply myself and fortify my own character, my own identity, and create and establish a legacy within this broad world, this big world that operates here. So this new moon is a very potent and powerful new moon to really sit with yourself and to write and to come up with a plan, come up with a strategy in what you want to achieve for yourself. What is your 1-year plan in 2024? What is your 3-year plan? What is your 5-year plan? And to start realizing what areas in your chart, in your chart, but also what areas in your life, in your habits, your day-to-day routines that are a part of an old, unsupporting paradigm within you that needs to shift. So for all of us, this looks in so many different ways, So with Mars being in Capricorn during this new moon, I love Mars in Capricorn transits. Mars is in Capricorn once every 2 years, so we don't really get this all the time. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and what that means is that Mars Mars' energy of direction, assertiveness, action, initiation, is very amplified and exalted, meaning Mars really enjoys being in Capricorn, because so Mars being the ruling planet of Aries, so Mars and Aries energy are very assertive, they're very action oriented, their energy is outward movement, outward momentum. I want to do this, I am that, this is what I desire. Mars is also our desires, it is our blood, it is our sex drive. It is Mars is also militant, not really the military structure, but things that the military use, such as weapons, machinery, bullets, guns. So that is Mars energy. And so Mars in Capricorn Mars really loves being in Capricorn because his Mars is very reactive, instinctual, impulsive energy to want to take action towards something becomes refined and structured. So Mars, whatever your Mars is, whatever your goals and desires are, Mars in Capricorn, that Capricorn energy is going to give us the strength and willpower to become devoted and serious in applying ourselves through structures and systems and making it happen. So for example, Mars and Capricorn, people who are born with Mars and Capricorn, when they have a goal they want to accomplish, no matter how big or small, Mars and Capricorn people will look into it. Mars and Capricorn people will look into what it is that they want to achieve, and they'll have a tendency to look at people who have done it before them. They'll seek out mentors, they'll seek out other great leaders, other great people who've accomplished amazing things and established their legacy. So then that Mars in Capricorn will look at that and look for the pattern in the structures in the system, the formula, and how to get there and live by that formula. So like realizing that you want to climb Mount Everest, and what is it going to take to climb Mount Everest? What is it going to take to get your body ready? What kind of gear do you need? And realizing also that that is all going to cost money. So what kind of lifestyle do you need to live to be making the money, to buy the gear, to plan the trip, to have the time? It is creating a whole structure within your life and everything about your life to accomplish this one goal. So Mars in Capricorn is really good. And with Mars being in Capricorn during this new moon is very supportive in helping us establish this true desire that wants to be devoted into something great for ourselves, into what we want to do for ourselves. And with Pluto at that 29-degree Capricorn position, this is so profound because over the last 15 years, Pluto has had to take apart many pieces about ourselves. During the first several years of Pluto and Capricorn, their Uranus was in Aries. So during the first few years of Pluto and Capricorn, Uranus was in Aries, and Uranus and Pluto made 7 exact squares with each other for the first few years of Pluto being in Capricorn. Now, I won't get into so much detail about that, and it's none of you guys probably know what that means. But basically what I'm saying, with Pluto being at this Capricorn, 29-degree Capricorn point, Pluto representing death, transformation, rebirth, and purification. So this Capricorn area of our lives, wherever it is in your personal chart, and just what Capricorn represents for the collective in the world, has been going through an intense transformational process. And individually, it looks like, where have I been transforming my own inner authority? Because Capricorn is authority. Where have I been giving my power to false systems of authority? How have I been giving my power into things and giving and allowing other systems to have authority over me? When 2020 came around, this was a huge climatic process of this Pluto and Capricorn and what it's been doing to us all collectively. And we saw many people, they immediately, without question, stepped into line with what the authorities were saying. Whereas a lot of people who have been doing this work were like, no, 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 I am my own authority and I have questions. I'm not going to wear this mask. I'm not going to social distance. I'm not going to take this jibby jab. No, I don't care what you say. I don't care if you say I can't travel. I don't care if you can say I can't do this or I can't do that. I don't care if you say that I can't go to a bar or go watch a movie, or if my kids can't go to school. I'm not doing it because I am sovereign. I am my own authority. So Pluto in Capricorn has been working with all of us to really come online and become sovereign within our own individuality and and establishing our own authority, because we have been so conditioned for generations to trust these systems. We bestow our trust and our power to this system. How many people do you know in your life that would say, well, I'm not the scientist, these people are way smarter than me, or they get paid, they get paid way more than me, so I don't know anything and I am going to trust them, regardless of having any independent thought and critical thinking of my own. I'm just not going to question it. So Pluto being at this 29-degree Capricorn position during this new moon, while Mars is in Capricorn, it is very powerful because we are coming to this ultimate shift. We are leaving an old excuse me, we are leaving an old world aspect of ourselves that had to deal with the conditionings and programming that we adopted unconsciously before these events occurred to activate us. And it has been a long, slow process to go within and figure out all the little pieces operating within us that aren't true, that aren't real, and are some foreign program or frequency that is part of this system that seeks to keep us plugged into a false, inverted, perverted matrix and take our power away, us not be sovereign in our own right. Which means that putting your intentions of what you want for yourself in this new moon is super important. So, and it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. And it, like, for example, for me, I really, I don't want to share into that. I'm gonna pass, I'm gonna move on. So what else is occurring during this new moon? We still see Mercury is in Sagittarius at 27 degrees. Mercury is still in shadow. Mercury went retrograde in Capricorn at 8 degrees. So Mercury is going to be in shadow for another few weeks. Mercury is still within a proximity of a square to this Neptune in Pisces at 25 degrees. So this is an interesting connection with Mercury and Neptune. I did speak about this in a post that I wrote a few days ago. And generally, when Mercury is squared Neptune, there is a sort of confusion or cloudiness within our mental thinking. And because Neptune is a very spiritual, supernatural, profound energy that can connect us to divine visions that really transcend everything within this 3D physical reality. And Mercury is the mind that receives input through the stimuli, through the senses, that computes and projects the 3D reality we experience. So the five senses and that's the nervous system. So Mercury is how we process information operating within the 3D and within our mind. And when Neptune is and Mercury are squaring, there our mental processes can be a little cloudy and confusing because there is an element of our mind that is also bridging a connection and processing information that is beyond the 3D realm. Um, Mercury and Neptune square connections can also gift us in a heightened sense of connectivity with other people, and even a heightened sense of connectivity to the oneness of everything. So it's both spiritually profound, but it comes with the side effect of being vulnerable to yourself, to self-deception, and being deceived by others. Now, ultimately, during this Mercury retrograde transit, Mercury has made a total of 3 squares to Neptune and Pisces while Mercury was transiting through Sag. 3 squares. This is the final square. The first square, Mercury was direct, Neptune was retrograde. The second square, Mercury was retrograde, Neptune was direct. This third final square, both Mercury and Neptune are direct. So things are moving forward in this process that we have been in, and recalibrating our minds in how we process information and things that are happening in a global, broader spectrum, and searching and how to connect to higher elements of understanding what is going on. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that for example, over the last few months, there has been major significant events occurring around the world. So one piece that I'll use right now, the most recent element is I'll use two most recent elements here. First, what happened at that Miami mall, where a supposed portal opened and 10-foot tall aliens came out, and the type of police reaction that occurred with that. I'm sure all of you guys have heard and seen about this right now. There was several fucking police cars that showed up at this mall. They blocked off all the roads. They even restricted air flight. The Miami airport wasn't allowed to have any flights come in or take off for several hours. They restricted the fucking sky. They had black helicopters flying everywhere. And the media reports is saying that, you know, this reaction was due to a fighting brawl that happened between teenagers, and that fireworks were launched. So that has been a big, excessive, major response to something like that, right? It was huge. Like, to have that kind of a police response is something that I would think it was a matter of national security of what fucking happened there. And so mentally, you know, and I'm speaking on like on a global basis here. So for a lot of people, a lot of muggles, I'll say, you know, looking at that, they're and also us, right, dealing with this too, having to critically think of what's going on and looking at the pieces. And it's still confusing because none of us really don't know, right? So we have people that are playing around with the coordinates, and then they flip-flopped the coordinates in reverse, and turns out if you reverse the coordinates, it takes you to Antarctica, and in Antarctica, there's all sorts of beliefs and facts that tell us there are extraterrestrial civilizations that occur there. So we're formulating all kinds of theories and things like that. And basically, the whole thing of what's happening is very confusing. We don't really know exactly what happened. All we know is that something did happen, and the response was very big and very dramatic. And the media is saying this, people are saying that, people are theorizing this, and so many other people are just having fun making shit up, saying that they were there and this and that and this and that happened. So there's a confusion of our mind processing all the information because there's the cloudiness. There isn't any certainty within all the information that we do have. So the Neptune element is causing this confusion, while the Mercury element is creating this overwhelm of information and trying to compute and trying to understand what the bigger picture is. And we're kind of shooting in the dark a little bit. The reason why this kind of transit is occurring right now is because we are having to start testing, practicing, developing our own skills and going within and connecting to our own higher self to get a spiritual or a psychic download of what the matter is and what how things are operating in the world through a big picture, which means it assists us in becoming more disconnected and detached from the sensationalism that is occurring within the matrix structure right now, meaning we're not being overly reactive of everything that is being shown to us through the media, social media, and all that sort of stuff, because we're taking a minute to be like, you know what, let me just go within and having this profound experience where our consciousness is expanding into these higher realms, and we're seeing this far more profound, bigger picture that is hard to communicate. It is challenging to communicate. It's like, let me funnel all of this profound, beautiful, high spiritual concepts of what the bigger picture and connection is to all things. It's like, and it's helping us, at least for me, it's helping me realize that, you know what, I don't really need to share anything that I experience or what I see here. I'm not even a part of it anymore. I'm here and I get to do what I'm going to do and playing this game here. So the other thing that has occurred is the discovery of the underground chambers and tunnels of the synagogue in New York City with the Jewish temple. Now, there's a lot going on with that too, and the information isn't all that clear, but there are people who are releasing a lot of ancient information about all kinds of stuff, and there's connections to a lot of other things. I'm not an expert on any of it, so I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on any of it. But the thing is like, it is all very controversial, and it is a very sensational topic, especially how it's interwoven with the Jewish community. It is like, you know, it is almost like a taboo topic to even talk about or reference, or it's almost like saying black man or black person and having that weird cognitive process of being like, oh, African American, or I'm not racist, you know, like my mom does that all the time. I'm like, just say the black man. It's a black man, whatever. I say the same thing. It's a black man. It's an Asian man. It's a Mexican man, whatever. But there's this like, you know, weird connection to it, you know? And so this is a very tricky topic right now. And now, again, with the information and the spiritual war we are in right now, the Mercury-Neptune square can make us very vulnerable to deception and deceiving ourselves with all the information that's going on. So this is just reminders of how important it is to take a step back, disconnect, go within, and figure out your own understanding of it, but also understanding that you doing that, you don't have to tell the world. You don't have to be like some of these other people online that are, you know, social media famous in spiritual communities and be like, I remote viewed myself into the mall and I saw what really happened. This is what really happened. Who knows if what their experience is even true or accurate? And so we're making ourselves vulnerable and deceiving ourselves and looking like a fool and all that sort of stuff. If that's what you are experiencing, then keep that for yourself, right? I mean, we don't have to, you know, try to speak it all off onto the rooftops just to get likes, just to get videos or anything like that. Not saying that some of these people that's what they're doing. I think a lot of them are really coming from a genuine place in their heart and all that stuff, and they're just trying to help everybody, you know, but at the same time, no one knows what the fuck is going on. So Mercury making this connection to Neptune right here, very powerful because this is during this new moon. So this is us having a profound moment of being able to reach a profound moment of spiritual clarity and understanding who we are, where we are, what's happening in the world, the journey that you have taken to get to this point now, and to a coming to this culminating point of realizing a key element, a key piece about yourself, your desires, your emotions, what you want to build for yourself. What do you want to strategize for yourself? What is your plan now? What is your plan now in this time? Do you have one? Do you want one? Or you just want to keep winging it? um, so Mercury making this connection there. The other thing about this Mars in Capricorn at 5 degrees is Mars in Capricorn has been making a beautiful sextile to Saturn in Pisces. I also spoke about this in my recent post that I wrote. One element of time check. So one element of this Mars connection to Saturn here, I find this as a very beautiful softening of embracing our strength and our power. I see this in many different ways. And one thing that I didn't mention in the post that I wrote is with the Saturn in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, and with this Mars connection here, I think that part of the formula of what needs to be input in your intentions during this new moon is offering some type of sacrificing something that is within your daily habits, your mind, an attitude or a consumption or something, a belief about yourself, and eliminating it, sacrificing it away from you in order to go in order to help your intentions with this goal. So like, for example, in the post I wrote is like sugar, right? Sugar and processed foods and enjoying candies and cereals and stuff like that. Let's say you have that guilty pleasure, and this whole time you have been very well aware of all this stuff. It's not new information to you what sugar does, having candida, having parasites, the food coloring, the dyes and what they do, but still doing it to yourself anyways, right? And so this is like, okay, realizing, okay, I really want to accomplish this vision I have for my life. I see myself living this kind of lifestyle and having this amount of money and this amount of resources and security in my life. This is what I want, okay? And I need to make some type of sacrifice. So I'm going to sacrifice eating this kind of sugar or something like that. I'm going to take that out. Or let's say you've been smoking way too much fucking weed. Let's say you've been smoking way too much weed and it's not allowing you to use your mental powers at its full capacity. Not that there's anything wrong with marijuana, or this could even be alcohol, or this could even be coffee, caffeine, too much caffeine, and your adrenals are all out of whack, right? This is making some sort of tweaking adjustment that sacrifices something that your ego desire clings to hold on to, and demonstrating that willpower and that determination over your ego, over your primitive thinking and behaviors, and going into that gentle softness of what it is you're going to do moving forward. So I really believe that this new moon is a very super fucking amazing, powerful new moon that isn't going to bring you instant results. This is a new moon where you need to plan, you need to strategize, you need to summon the energy and the desire to be fully devoted with unyielding integrity. Now that you've established your own inner authority and in your life and what you want to do. And so this is, what legacy do you want for yourself moving forward? So I think that a sacrifice needs to be implemented, some sort of change. Now the other thing with the Neptune in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces is, and with the Capricorn, with the Pluto in Capricorn 29 degrees, and also Uranus in Taurus 19 degrees. So um, things are challenging right now within the world. We got the inflation. We got it's just hard, right? It's the price of groceries, people's power bills, the price of gas, the price of vehicles, the price of everything is being really jacked up, right? And it's overwhelming. And it's like, okay, there's only so many hours I can work in a day, and there's only so much money I can get paid within an hour to do this while everything is rising up. So this is the time of with what's happening around the world, to not fall in line of being a victim and feeling hopeless about all of it all, and to become a pioneer in strategizing what it is you're going to create for yourself that you can trade, sell, or barter, that will help you get ahead of this. And a lot of this is going to require us to actually become open and learn, because the world is changing. Just like how when the world was changing, when corporations were really beginning to implement computer systems, the generation that has been working before the computers, we've been doing everything by analog, typing it in and doing that, this and that. And so there was a huge moment where a lot of these people couldn't get with the new programs. They couldn't get with the computers. They would refuse. And slowly over the years, they were not important. They were irrelevant because they wouldn't learn how to do things on computers anymore. We are in that kind of process right now with money and systems within the money and resources, with decentralized banking and cryptocurrency and that sort of stuff. So we have to become open to learn new things, and to find somebody or start, allowing ourselves to take in these pieces of information, to expand our awareness on it, or otherwise you're going to get left behind, and you're going to end up in that sad story of like, I'm poor. When Nike was looking for people to invest in building shoes, I didn't laugh at him, and I actually gave him $20 to help jumpstart his business. So you don't want to make that kind of fucking mistake. And there's so many people out there that are doing the heavy research work and figuring out how to get into these systems, and are creating programs to teach you. So with that being said, shout out to my homie and my Gemini brother, Jace from Cosmic Crypto. If you're not following him on Instagram or on YouTube, I highly recommend you do. I love this man very much. He's a dear friend of mine. I know who he is. I know his heart, and he has been fully invested in learning and studying this crypto future market for several years. And he's part of that generation of bridging us into these newer systems. And I love the way he thinks and the way he ties in cryptocurrency with like God consciousness and all sorts of stuff. Like he's a wizard out here, just like many of us are magicians, alchemists, and wizards. He is a wizard and making connections and finding ways to help us get onto this market. And so I highly recommend you connect to Jace from Cosmic Crypto. He's got a program. My partner and I, we've signed up to his program and did his modular classes and learning how to get ourselves rolling in the crypto game. He's got a group chat community that you can get in and ask questions. He'll do online consultation calls. So I really encourage everybody to become open and start looking into this shit, because moving forward, the world is shifting and changing. You don't want to be left behind and feeling all bitter and like a victim when it was there and available for you. So this is very powerful, because ultimately, with a lot of this astrology that's going on right now, is there is a fight, there is a tug, and there's a tug and pull battle of the old and the future, and the in between of moving away from the old and becoming a sort of clean slate, not really a clean slate, but just a transformed individual that is ready to move forward free and sovereign and in your own authority power, moving forward into this new world. The other thing that is occurring with this new moon is that at 20 degrees Capricorn, is this new moon is exactly squaring the north node in Aries and the south node in Libra. So when we have a square like this to the north and south node, this is implementing a shift, a noticeable shift within our lives. And so this square to the nodes is coming to an awareness. This is further emphasizing the fact that we have to move away from our comforts and move into the unknown territory. And the unknown territory with the North Node in Aries is embracing your own authentic individuality and being who you are, moving away from the comforts of the old world social etiquette programs and becoming a pioneer Capricorn in moving forward in this future industrial revolution of yourself and into the future. And there's all kinds of shit that people are doing and creating, like with this whole cryptocurrency thing. That Jace from Conscious Crypto, he recently made a reel where he was like, I bought Trump Tower, and he tells you, he's like, this is how I bought Trump Tower. You can buy all kinds of properties and addresses through the blockchain network of cryptocurrency, and there's a 3-step process. And if you actually own the deed of the building, you can go into the second stage, and then there's the third stage. But if you don't own the deed to the property, you still own the digital asset of it. And if the true owner wants to own the digital asset of it, they have to buy it from you. So even though he doesn't own Trump Tower, he owns that digital address. And if fucking Donald Trump wanted to buy it from him and wants to own that, he'd has to pay him out to buy that, So there's a whole new world of things going on right now. And it's very exciting. So people are creating this technological revolution and pioneering new ways of being. Okay. Now, this is so I'm getting excited here. Now, the other thing that's occurring during this new moon is Venus is in Sagittarius 15 degrees, making a beautiful trine to Chiron in Aries at 15 degrees, while this square is occurring to the nodes. This Venus and Chiron trine is sort of, it is inviting us to start to really move forward in our healed selves. Moving forward with our new desires and our healed selves, our new expression, our new persona, and moving forward with that and start playing outside with other people, as these new healed versions of ourselves. Moving more into alignment with what our destiny is, and individuality is a huge part of moving forward in everybody's own personal destiny. So the other thing I want to mention about Mars and Capricorn, Mars is not only sextiling this Saturn in Pisces, but Mars is making an exact trine to this Jupiter in Taurus here, Earth sign. Okay. And the new moon is also trining the Uranus in Taurus, Earth sign. So this is like long lasting energy that is programmable with our intentions to put out into the universe and into our personal energetic field, to expand ourselves and what you believe your value is, what your self-worth is, what you want in your life, and to set those intentions for you to have it, to be permitted to have that. So, for example, for example, like like in my life right now, few years ago, several years ago, going in the years of 2016, 2017, 2018, I was going through a lot of different serious health crises. Okay. I was hit by cars 3 times on a bicycle. I had a fucking stroke. I had brain tumors. My body was going through all kinds of shutdowns. I thought I was probably going to die. I thought the rest of my life I was going to be miserable and disabled and just not going to move outside of my shitty fucking mold infested apartment, but I kept applying myself to work. The term, if you're walking through hell, keep walking. And that's what I did. I was walking through hell, and I kept walking until I saw myself out of that hell realm. And then I lived in a van. When COVID happened, I lived in a van and I traveled the country, was just making money selling salsa, being myself, who I was, being myself, selling salsa, showing up to markets, giving astrology readings, connecting to people, realizing who I am away from these systems. Because before 2020, I was so entangled with the systems. I was like, I need this government health insurance. I need this job. I need this. I need that because I'm sick. I don't know what's going on with me, and I need this for my safety and security. But then I was like, no, I'm in a prison. This is a prison. I'm trapped, and I've been tricked to co-create these illnesses due to my trauma and my backdoors and being a victim and a little bitch and all that shit. This is not real. I need to pull away from this and figure out who I am and what my power is, connecting to the divine, because I'm having these dreams, I'm having these synchronicities, I'm getting these downloads, I'm having these visions, and they have to mean something. I can't be crazy, So I went through that fucking journey and doing that and having an amazing fucking experience with so many different side quests and stories to tell that ultimately allowed me to experience the freedom of who I am and coming into this true trust and certainty of the higher power and the divine supernatural capabilities that I have in co-creating with this power. And I've just been steadily pushing myself, testing these waters and what I can do as a magician, testing these waters and growing and growing and growing. I have on video several years ago where I'm in my van and I'm like, you know what? I need to start thinking bigger. I need to dream bigger. I need to do things, what else can I do for myself? Long story short, where I am now, I now own my home, fully paid for. Okay. I own this. Me and my fiance, we own our home. We own over an acre of land. This is our post. We don't have a mortgage. We're not paying any bank or anything like that. The both of us, we were able to work our magic, manifest the money in all sorts of strange ways, legit ways. And here we are, we own this. And we had to go through a lot of different angles and a process to actually get to this landing post. And so now that I'm here, I'm feeling a shift within my value and my self-worth. And I'm like, I never thought I was going to make it to this point because I had been conditioned in I've been conditioned and in these limited belief structures of how far I can reach success and what I deserve, right? And I just want more. I want more. I want to be bigger. I want to expand on that shit. So this is something that we all have been going through. My experience has been very intense, but that's because I'm a Pluto Scorpio generation with Pluto conjunct my rising sign. I and my Pluto in Scorpio and my rising sign are exactly square. My north and south node, north node Aquarius, south node Leo. So I'm here to experience life in a super intense level. Okay. So my story, my experiences have been very intense. Doesn't mean you all have to experience it in this way, but I'm also very collective. I'm an instrument to move through these intense levels, demonstrating on a collective level, on a collective basis. So you're welcome. So everything that I'm saying also pertains to you in your own life, in your own story. We've all been going through this journey of experiencing old programs, old limiting belief systems, victim mentality, having things happen to us that are beyond our control, which, going through our own personal hell and having to awaken ourselves with the Neptune in Pisces since 2012, go through this awakening as the spiritual energies have been increasing and trusting this journey, this spiritual path, to this point of coming into this embodiment of understanding who we are on a multidimensional level and what is occurring here on planet Earth on this deeply profound, highly spiritual level. This is why we came here to embody on this earth. So what was I even saying? See, I just go on these rants, I just go on these tangents, but that's who I am. That's what I'm here to do as a Gemini sun and a Gemini moon, a new moon Gemini. I am an instrument of Plutonian energy, but also here to bring in new truths, new attitudes, new perspectives. I'm just here to just speak information. Okay. I'm not a guru. I'm not a master. I don't know all the things or whatever, but what I do know is the truth that I experience when I tap into myself. And I do know and understand that I don't have to try to make everybody see it. You know what I mean? I have some amazing things and connections and spiritual shit that goes down and all this stuff, but I don't need to share it or create or monetize it, and try to sell you something, because I see it, I get it, it's crazy, it's beautiful, and I'm really grateful to be here with all of you guys, but I'm still human, so I still go through, the humanness of having to be here. I'm not in this bliss state 24/7. You know what I mean? Anyways, so lot to say here, this is a beautiful new moon. This is an amazing new moon going on right now. So this is right now the moon is in Capricorn at 9 degrees. Okay, Mars is in Capricorn at 4 degrees. So we're building up towards this new moon phase. And after the new moon, so later on after the new moon, hours later, eventually the moon will cross over Pluto at 29 degrees. So this is really moving us through a death and rebirth process. So this is like arriving to the ceremony of the temple of your higher self and the vision, the legacy, the mission you want to start working towards, and bringing your offering and bringing the sacrifice of what you are ready to let go of in order to apply yourself in creating, the structures and systems in your life to accomplish this goal. Okay, this is the ceremony, and then going into that process. So that's it. But then when the moon progresses and meets with Capricorn, this is like, you've seen the movie Black Panther, right? So there was multiple stages to the Black Panther in the ceremony of him becoming the new ruler of Wakanda, right? First, he had to fight, right? Are there any challengers to, challenge the fight or whatever? He had to go through this fight and everything, and he wins the fight. And so he proves that he is strong enough and capable of being protector and ruler of Wakanda. But then the next part, the spiritual ceremonial part of the ritual, is he had to die. So he had to take this medicine, lose his Black Panther powers, become nothing but the human he is, the insignificant little human he is in that version, and then die. He had to be buried and go into the spiritual realms and die and experience a connection, right? It experience a connection now that he has obtained a new title, He's now king. He's now Black Panther of Wakanda, and receive a wisdom to help him move forward as he is transforming within himself. So that's later on after the new moon. After the new moon, then the moon is going to meet with Capricorn and 29 degrees point. And that moment is that part of the ceremony going into the underworld and experiencing a death and a transformation to help you move forward as you are growing into this new person. So this is all going to be within the same day. So the new moon occurs at 6:55 in the morning on January 11th. And then hours later, the moon progresses. The moon is progressing. So later into the night, 8:56 p.m. Eastern time is then when the moon reaches that 29 degree point Capricorn and begins to cross over Pluto before going into Aquarius. So the whole day, that whole day is a very profound day. Get into the mindset right now, get into the meditation, the ceremony, get into prayer right now, start writing, do something, little bit, breathing exercises, whatever. And that whole day, as the moon is in Capricorn, just keep this in mind, keep this vision in mind. What else? So, hold on. Has it been an hour? God damn it. I always, yeah, whatever. So, the last thing I want to talk about is in 10 days from now, on January 20th, the sun is going to reach 29 degrees Capricorn with Pluto here at 29 degrees Capricorn at 59 minutes, the last minute to the last degree of Capricorn. And this is the last time in our lives the sun in Capricorn is going to have to cross over Pluto in Capricorn. So again, what I was saying in the very beginning, this is a huge, huge culminating point of a massive 15-year-long process of transforming ourselves in the areas of our integrity, of authority, of power, of rules, structures, and systems. Pluto reaching this point is a powerful experience here. This is the day where the whole world is going to change forever. Again, I know it's been changing again and again, but this is bigger. This is huge. So Pluto, so this is going to occur. Again, this is in the morning. And then what happens so, we have the new moon, and then 10 days after the new moon, or 9 days after the new moon, the sun meets with Pluto in Capricorn. So this is similar to, so you remember going back to the Black Panther movie, the first time in the beginning, he had to die, go through the ceremony, but then he had to do it again, right? He got his ass kicked, right? And he lost the kingdom. Somebody else, there was another Black Panther that came through, right? And he got his fucking ass beaten, and he was almost dying. But then his family came, and they're all like, oh shit, we have the flower. Let's do the ceremony. And he had to go into the underworld again. But this time, going into the underworld, he came with a lot more knowledge of secrets that were operating his entire life. And he had to confront these ancestors and be like, you are all wrong. You have all been wrong to close out the entire world to Wakanda. We could be the leaders of the whole world. You've all done this wrong. So he's, basically like, now I'm the one in charge, and I'm going to do things different moving forward. So this is that kind of moment, right? We have the new moon, right? We have the new moon, and the same day as the moon meets with Pluto, goes through that moment, right? We're experiencing, right? We're going through the highs of being like, yeah, I'm doing this. These are my intentions. I'm going out and I'm going to be king. But then also, Oh, dang it. I should probably answer this. Ugh. Okay, fuck. With that, I gotta go. I have to answer this phone call. Hello?